tough. If you go to if you explore VBA, you can understand how easy to code, and it is very powerful actually. It is very fast. You can do, like, if it is Excel, if you're doing any automation on Excel, VBA is the best option because it will be very fast for you. Even, like traversing over a very large data set. In data analysis, it can be, most of the tasks can be automated if you have a similar data set which is coming over and over again. So basically, you can automate some of the tasks of data cleaning and data preparation with VBA. So it is a very powerful tool. So today we will learn that what is MS Excel used for. I think most of us know, like, MS Excel is again a very powerful tool, and it is a powerful application. And we use day to day, like in our job. VBA versus macros. So what is VBA and what is macros? What can be done with VBA, and of course some hands-on on automation. So before going to this, I will be, telling about myself. I think most of the things are already told, but what is not being told is that I have also started my career as a developer, and gradually with the years, I rose the ladder, and I have led the digital transformation solutions for almost more than a decade. So my verticals include AI, ML, analytics, RPA, blockchain, and also the 3D space. I am also a doctoral researcher. So this book I am highlighting over here, this is my first published book, and it is on VBA. So you guys can get it on Amazon also, and this is a store also you can get. So since this session is on VBA, so I thought that, if anybody wants to explore more, they can go to this book and see. Because you can start with this book as a beginner with no knowledge in VBA, and you can actually, excel VBA. So I have included, without much theories, I have included the straightforward techniques and the tips and tricks into this book. This is my LinkedIn profile. So anybody wants to, connect to me, you can connect to me after this session. Okay, so this is all about me. Let's go dive into this topic. So today our topic is Excel and VBA. So what is MS Excel used for? I think most of us know that what is it used for. So I will be just adding this one. We will create lots of disturbance. Okay, so we can, organize data, analyze, visualize, create and edit the spreadsheets, perform certain calculations. So MS Excel is, known for the formulas and the functions. And also we can create charts and graphs and manipulate and analyze large amount of data. So all these things, for all this purpose, even for complex financial calculations, we use MS Excel. Okay, so what about VBA and macros? So what is the difference basically? So VBA is basically known as Visual Basics for Application. It is a programming language built into Microsoft Office and used to automate tasks within Office automation applications, including Excel. Macros, on the other hand, are a feature of Excel that allows you to record and save sequence of action. So I will be showing you both basically what is macros and VBA. Then you will, have more grip on these things, because often macros are, thought as VBA, but it is actually, part of VBA. We can say in VBA, we can use lots of macros, macro coding or the macro recording, and to build the, full-fledged programming or the complex applications. So that is mostly the difference between VBA and macros. What you can do with VBA, you can do many things with VBA. Actually, the possibilities are endless. Maybe that is the one of the foremost reasons why VBA actually inspired me to write a book on VBA. You can automate repetitive tasks such as copying and pasting data, formatting cells, then do the data transformation, even printing worksheets. Then you can use custom functions and macros that can be used in Excel sheet. You can use on other Office applications like Word, PowerPoint, and these applications also I will show you in this session, like how we can, benefit from VBA. You can use you can create the user forms, and then you can do some complex calculations, data analysis. So all these things, if you go through these functions, you can do all these things. Like you can connect to database, you can do, web scraping, web automation with VBA, you can consume the web services. So what not is there that you cannot do with VBA? That is one thing. You can interact, I think, with most of the applications with VBA. Even you can interact with the SAP GUI with the VBA. So SAP GUI code comes in the VB script, which can be transformed to VBA, and we can work on it. Okay, so these are some of the things which you can use VBA into the like our repetitive task, or what we call as robotics process automation, to automate the mundane repetitive task. Okay, so let's do some coding today. I will be covering on these topics. So I will be creating and showing her like how to create a form control and how to record macro. So then you will understand what is the like difference between VBA and macro. Then how the debugging is done. And again, it is a very important thing. And I will be showing you some tips on this also, like how you can debug things in VBA, and calling some web services like with SOAP and REST API. Then you can do some advanced Excel automation like pivot, charting, interactive dashboard. So this kind of automation, yes, little bit tricks you have to use, but you can do it with VBA. Then office automation, you can do the automation on Word, Microsoft Excel, Excel not, PowerPoint. So all these other office applications, you can do the automation with VBA. You can do email automation like sending the bulk email, the sending newsletter. So for those kind of applications, VBA is a very powerful tool. As I said, web scraping with the query table and Selenium. So this I won't be showing in today's session, but I have covered one of the similar session with Analytics Vidya only. You can go to the YouTube and search for that session, where I have shown some license-free web automation, and where I have included VBA code to how to scrape data and from the public domain, and how to do the web automation, and as well as SAP automation. So SAP is not there in this system today, but yes, you can, if you are interested, you can go to my book and see like most of the codes are given, like how you can do SAP automation also with VBA. Okay, so without wasting much time over this, I will straightforwardly go and create some Excel and see that how we can do this. So let's start from the very beginning. I am assuming that even who were knowing also very good in VBA, just bear with me. I am assuming that people are starting with VBA. So I will be just explaining from a very layman terms. Okay, so if you open the Excel, I think you will be seeing this tab as developer. But if you can't see this tab and you have never used VBA in your life, in the Excel you are using, then you can go here in the file, go to more, go to options. Here you can see customize ribbon, and there you get an option for developer. So you have to actually opt in this option, like choose this option. So if it is not selected, select this one and click OK. So then this tab will appear in your system. So now it is already appearing in my system. So I will be just going into this. So if you just open this tab, you can see here that Visual Basic is there. And if you double click this, your Visual Basic editor will open. And macros, you can record macro. And some other, like controls are there. So if you see here, like what you can insert over here. So you can insert these many controls here, like there are text boxes, buttons, drop downs, list. So all these things you can actually, leverage, and you can build a user interactive form in Excel itself. Okay, so let's just, start with a button. So I will be starting with a bare minimum thing, and then I will be going into more advanced topic. So I will be just taking a button over here. So you can see that a button is created. Okay, now if you see, this is a design mode which is already selected over here. So if you just go and click this design mode, let's just toggle it. So it is now the design mode is not selected. Then if you click this button, it will actually run. But now I haven't written any code in this button. It is just a button I have created. So I will go and create this design mode, like select this again, because I need to do some, operations onto this. So I will click on the properties, and in the properties, you can do many things. You can change the name of the button. You can change the option of the button. So let me just change the option of the button, and I will put it as click me. Okay, and maybe you can change the font color also. So you can go and put the font color as white. And again, you can put the back color as blue. So you can just, customize do the cosmetic changes on this button, how it looks. So now it is giving me a beautiful blue button. That is fine. You can change the name also. Okay, so I won't be doing any more things on this. So let's keep it simple. So I will just, go and click on this button. So if I double click on this button, the Visual Basic editor will open. So this is actually it opens the editor. You can see this is my book 4. So many other books are also opened simultaneously. So this is a new book which I am creating, and it is directly taking me to the sheet 1 because I have created this button on this sheet only. So the first sheet. So it's sheet 1 and this code is opening. So I will be just writing a very, like a normal code. Like I will be just printing a message box and I will put that you have clicked me. Okay, so this is my code and I will just run this button. So I will go here. I will now, like remove this design mode because in this design mode, if I click, it won't work. So I have to just remove it, deselect it. And then I will just click here. And the message box is showing it is that you have clicked me. Okay, very good. So the code is working. Now, if I want to, print the same message in any of this cell. So let's say I want to print this in the A2. So this is a very basic thing I am telling you guys. So I will just go here and I can comment it out also. So for commenting, we use this symbol, basically the single quote. So that means you have commented out the code. Okay, but let me just keep this, not a problem. And I will just put this workbook. So this workbook means this is a workbook which I'm working in. This is an instance of this workbook. So this workbook, so you can actually, like take the instance of any workbook. You can open a new workbook also in the VBA. Okay, but right now I am working in the same workbook in sheet 1. So you can just write this workbook, and if you just type, it will show you the IntelliSense, the shows sheets, and I will take the first sheet. So you can give the name also here instead of putting the numerical value, that is 1. You can put sheet 1 also. And then I am taking the range. So I will be taking dot range and I will be giving some range. So in this case, my range is A2. And there I am putting some value to it. And I am putting same thing that you have clicked me. Okay, so this is my code. The code looks very simple. There is nothing to understand over here. So it is just a one line of code. So here we are starting from the very basic. So now if I just go and click me, okay, and see this text is coming in the cell A2. Okay, fine. Now I have written a VBA program successfully. Okay, a very simple one, but it is working for me. So that accomplishment, that sense of accomplishment is there. Okay, so now let's see that how you can record some macros and what is macro basically. So the VBA code is working fine. Now, if I want to do some formatting onto this, okay, so I will just go here. I will record the macro. I will start recording the macro. Okay. And I will be doing some formatting onto this. Say I will want to change the font color to blue. And I will be changing the fill color to maybe some light orange. Okay, I will be making it bold. Okay, so this looks fine. Maybe I will little bit, like increase the font size. So let's make it 16. Okay, so now everything I have recorded here in this macro. And I will go to the macro and I will say stop. So whatever you have done, the step-by-step things, it is recorded and the code is ready for you to use, okay? So you can go there again. So where is my code now? So I have recorded a macro, but I need to take that code. So that code will be actually generated in the same workbook, but in the module. So you can go to the module 1 and you can see a macro is generated. Okay, so whatever you have done, the step-by-step things, everything is generated over here in this macro. So what I will do is I will just go over here. I will just copy this code. Okay, you can simplify this code also. Basically, if I am writing the VBA, I won't be, like using this, all these, like end with and all these things. I will just simplify it and I will just put the interior color and font color, font dot bold equal to true. So likewise, I will just simplify my code. But for the, like the demo purpose, I'm showing you how you can start with, like the macros, like coding with macros. So I am just going here. So my main code was in the sheet 1. So now I am just pasting it here. Now everything looks fine. Now already I have changed some formatting in this cell A2. So instead of A2, now I will be selecting A5. So that is fine. So now maybe it will generate the code over here. And before that, you can see that one selection is there, that with selection.font. So I have to select for this. Otherwise, it will give me an error. So for this, okay, let it give the error. Then I can fix it also, or I can just go. I will show it later. So I will just put the selection. So I will just copy the same thing, and I will put it as dot select. So the code is that much simple. So that thing is there in the code basically. So I'm just selecting it, and I am just putting some formatting onto this selection. Okay, so let's run this code now. So now I have already the formatting here. So I will just do the same thing in the A5 cell, just for that whether the macro is working or not. Okay, so I will do click me. So you can see the macros I have recorded. I have just taken the same code which is getting generated from the VBA itself. I have pasted the code in my function, and I am using the same code, just only the cell value I have changed the cell reference. Instead of A2, I have taken A5, and the code is working fine for me. It is giving me the same kind of formatting. So this is basically the difference of, like VBA and macro, where macro, you can record your step-by-step things, and VBA, you can write very complex applications, and you can actually, build, very complex applications with the macros, with the generated macros as well. So let's go and see another example. So I will close this book. Okay, so here you can see that I have already created this data and a button I have taken. So this is the same way I have taken the button I showed you now. So only thing is that the button caption I have given a sum. And what I will be essentially doing over here is I will be just getting the total. So imagine that where you have to do a very complex calculations on a set of data, and you have a data set like this, and you can just do it with a button click. You can transform the entire set of data. So think from that perspective to this piece of code. Okay, so what I will be doing over here essentially is I will be just putting a sum function, because I want the sum of these three subjects, right? So I will be just putting A2 and 2 till C2. So this should be my normal, like a very simple sum function. Okay, so this is giving me, and what I will be just double clicking it to the down. Okay, so the same thing actually you can record in macro, that the code you want to get for the double clicking and drag it to down. So I will just go to the macro, I will record it, I will just use the same thing. So it is done. Now I will stop recording. Okay, now let's see that whether this code is generated. So already I have written this code. So you can go here, you can see that already some code I have already run before. So 2 macros are basically generated. You can see that it is giving me a code that selection the autofilled destination, and it is giving me a range D2 to D8, means you autofill this selection. Okay, so now I will just go to my main code where I have written, and here you can see the code syntax again is very simple. So I have just taken again this workbook, because I'm working on this workbook itself. And I have put a formula. Instead of value here, I have put a formula. And the same thing actually I have copy pasted from here. So the sum A2 C2 that I have fully copy pasted and I have put it here. Okay. And then I have selected this cell D2. And then from this macro itself, I copied this line of code, which is getting generated from recording, like the macro recording. So I'm copying this line of code and I'm putting this here. So it will give me the desired output. Okay, so now I will just go here and I will delete this one and I will just run the code. Okay, so you can see in no time, basically in fraction of seconds, it is generated. The code ran and it filled the other rows also. So this is where, there is, the power of macro. And I am telling you from my experience, if it is a very large data set also, like Excel, if you can do the automation on Excel using VBA, it will, no other programming will be as fast as that because it is an inbuilt function of Excel and it will just work on the cells. So with no time, it will just generate everything for you. Okay, so this is a very simple example. Now let's go and see some of the advanced things. Okay, now this kind of code, if you see, you will get, I think the people who are just starting with macro or VBA, they will get little bit that VBA phobia. But believe me, these are very simple piece of code. I will explain each and everything. Okay, so I will just go and see that what is there in my like plate now. So I have shown you like how to like create some proper form control. So likewise, you can take like generate some text box or the list, and you can see plug and play. How you can record macro, how we can debug. Okay, now this is a very important thing, how we can debug macro. I will show you this, how we can debug macro. Okay, then calling web services, SOAP and REST. Okay, so we will go straightforwardly to this. So let's see this. Give me 1 minute, I am just opening the file. Okay, so as you can see, there are actually basically two sheets here in this workbook. One is like I have, like populated some data calling a web service like SOAP web service. So basically it comes in the XML format, the response, and in the rest it comes in the JSON format. So I will just delete this code and I will generate it like again from beginning. Okay, so I will go to my Visual Basic. So here you can see that both all the four things are there. I have put a GET request on a SOAP web services. I have put a post also, and similar for the REST and post. So all the four codes are there. The four modules are there. So let's start with SOAP GET. Okay, so in this time our web service which we are calling is this. Like this link. So this is actually giving you the currency by the currencies of different countries. So if I just go and put it here, you can see here. So it is some kind of, like the free web services which are available in the public domain. So you can take any one. So this is what I have taken. I don't know where the 404 is showing. Okay, let's run the code. So let's see. If it is the if web service is not up, then it won't show maybe probably. So let's run it. Okay, so I will just, like call this function, and it is again doing nothing. It is just going to this SOAP sheet, which is created already. And it is giving some values like currency code and currency name. Okay, so code and name it is giving. And it is making some formatting, like it is making the font bold and the interior color, it is changing. And then it is just calling this, basically this function, which is giving it a return the response, like calling the web service. So this function is getting called, and it is pulling the web service with a GET operation, and it is giving a response, a XML response, which it again, which is getting parsed, and all the data is, like populated in this sheet. So this is what it is doing. That's it. So I am just little bit doing the formatting over here. Let's see if it is 404, maybe it probably won't run, but let's see. So I will run this. Now I will show you, like if you want to debug this code. Okay, so for debugging, you can actually set the breakpoint like this. So this is your breakpoint where the code will hit and stop. Okay, so if I just run this code, you can see the code is now, like it is showing highlighted. That means the code is stopped over here. It has hit the breakpoint. Okay, now to continue with this breakpoint, you have to do function F8. So that is the one thing you can do. So I am just going it and with function F8 because I call this function. So this is being called here. So I will just click on function F8 and I will just go. Let's see if it is bringing some response. If the luck is good, then let's see.
Hello, Munmun, your voice is not clear. Actually, you are not audible at all.
Hello.
Yeah, right now you are audible.
Okay. So like from where you didn't hear me? From like 5 minutes before, 2 minutes before?
I think 3 minutes before.
Okay.
Like
So
if
actually,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So actually I was trying to call this web service. Okay. So since I have seen a 404 error, that means the server is not running now. Maybe probably for that is the reason it is showing me error. I will just stop this code and I will run this again. One more time, I will try it. If it is not, then I will go to the REST web service. Yes, it is giving me some kind of error. So it is actually raising some error code in loading the XML because the response is not coming. Okay, so that is fine. That's because the web service is in the public domain, so that is fine. That is expected. Okay, so let me just show you the another web service. That is a REST one. Probably it works. Let's see. So I will just go. I will again, like erase this data. Okay, and I will go to the Visual Basic Code. So again, like it is kind of opening a Pokemon web service, and this is a REST service. And this time my response will be in JSON. So I will be parsing the JSON and populating in my workbook. So that is what I am doing here. Let's see. It has run. Yes, the data is populated as you can see. So the rest one is working, but the other one is already showing 404 error. So that is the reason it is not working. Okay, so similarly, you can, like try with the post also. So I am not going to the post and showing, but you can see that we can see the one post, a simple, like simple function or the simple application or the program is there. So it is just, like going to this website again. This is again in the public domain. So I am just adding a user over here with name and the job. So I am just sending a JSON as a, request, which is getting added to this, and it is giving me the ID of the new user created. So here I am just putting a new person's name with his job, with the job, and it is creating a new ID with this person, and it will giving me this ID. So I am just debugging, like printing it. So if I am using this word debug.print, that means it will be like printed in my immediate window. So what is immediate window? Basically for debugging purpose, it is very useful. So you can go here, view, you can open this immediate window. So here actually you can, like see the values of the, like the objects or the instances while you are running the code. So if you are setting the breakpoint, you can check the values here in the immediate window, whether it is working fine or not. So I will just go here. I will run this again, this subroutine. So let me just see. So in no time, I have just sending this JSON and the new user ID is created. So again, I am just testing the post operation into this web service. So this is a REST post operation I am showing you guys. So this is how actually you can do, like endless things. If you have a proper web service to consume, you can use VBA to consume the web service in no time and populate your Excel workbook. Okay, so without wasting much time on this, I will be showing you much more things over here. So some more interesting things. So let me go and, like show you some office automation and how we can do, like wonders in this. So I will be showing you some advanced Excel tips I will be giving you, okay? So now, if you see, I have a template over here. Okay, so this is my template. As you can see, I have some data over here. It is opening. Let it open first. Okay, so I have some data over here, some sales data. And from where I have created a pivot chart basically, and I have created this chart. So this is a bar chart. Okay, so it is a very, like for the demo purpose, very, like the very simple things I am showing over here. But these are kind of, like advanced like tips you can take into your automation. Okay, so now if you want to create these pivots or similar kind of pivots, suppose you have a data which is coming and you have to generate a report of a similar kind. Okay, so every time you want to write the code to, like create this pivot, create this chart, it will be problematic. So if you have a similar set of sales data coming with the similar header, like column headers, then one thing you can do is, so that is one tips over here, you can just create this template and keep. And with your VBA, what you can do is you can copy this template every time. You can refresh this data. So whatever the new data which is coming, you can reload this data set and your pivot will be already refreshed. So for refreshing the pivot and the chart, you just need to go to data and refresh all. So that is what you need to do over here. So data and refresh all, that is what you need to do. So this is the only line of code you need to write to, like to generate this kind of report. So the template you can just keep ready and you can just automate using the same template over and over again with a different set of data. So here my template is ready and I will go and open this Excel, basically the macro or the VBA code. Okay, so if you go and record this pivot, like how, like fully creating the pivot from the beginning in the macro steps, I will suggest don't go and do that because those macros doesn't work sometimes because pivot takes some ID, and if that ID doesn't match in your macro, it like whenever you are using it, then it will create some problem. So better if you have a similar kind of report, create the template and use the template again and again. So this is the code for this. So I will go to the VBA. Okay, and if you see, the code is basically simple. Don't go to all these lines basically like and thinking it is very complex. No, it is not complex. So I have just given 3 parts over here. One is my template part, which I will be copying, and one is my source part. So the source part is nothing but which is containing my data, a different set of data. And my report part, that is which is, like which you are the new report which you want to generate. Okay, from this template itself. Just refreshing the data. And this is what it is doing. It is just copying this template to this destination path. And it is just removing all the data from here till the last row. And it is putting all the data from my source file. So it is copying and pasting the data. And the last thing it is doing is this line, that is, it is just refreshing everything so that the pivot and the chart gets refreshed with the new data. So that is all it is doing. It is a trick. People can think that you have written a full set of operations of the code to create the pivot and the charts, everything. But no, you have just created the template and kept, and you are just copying it and just refreshing the data. That is what you are doing in VBA. And it will be very fast also. So I will just go here. I will be just, deleting this new report which is getting created. So I will be deleting this. Okay, and this file I will just run. And one more thing in VBA is a very good thing that I will show you guys. So let me just put a breakpoint. Okay, so I will just run this. Okay, now the breakpoint is hit. Now I will go little bit go line by line. Okay, fine, right? Now I have come to this line of execution. Now one good thing in VBA is if you have missed something and you want to, like some error is coming or you need to incorporate something in the code, you can write here also, like while you are debugging. I think no other programming language gives you this option. You can, in the runtime while you are debugging, you can change your code. That is a good option. So I am just writing A for apple and I am putting a message box. So this is one tips I am telling you. This is from my experience, that how you can manipulate the code. And I am putting this variable in the message box as A. But I have already come to this line. So no point, like I can go back to this line of execution, right? So in that case, you can just drag this cursor up. So it is here now. Okay, now if I run this, you can see it is good thing you can get in VBA, and it's a very powerful thing. Like many a times it happens that we miss something in the code and we have to go back and incorporate. And while running the entire code, we have to stop it again, write the code, save it, and again run it. But you can do it in the on the go while you're debugging this. So I will just click OK. Okay, so now actually these two lines which I have incorporated during the debugging, it's like ran. So while I am running this code. So it will take little bit time because, like my system is also a little bit slow. It is just copying the template. It is refreshing the data, the full source data, and it is just refreshing the pivot and the chart. That is what it is doing. So it is a wonderful tip for, like advanced automation. You can create interactive dashboard with these tips. You can create the template and keep, and you can just, like refresh the data and use it, like over and over again. So you can see here, like I think 2 files are already open. This new report is also created because I have deleted this file. So 1-2 minutes it will take more because I am running in my OneDrive. So it takes some time in saving the data over there. You can see the source file has opened. It has copied the data from there. Now probably it is pasting it over here, refreshing everything and close and saved and close the workbook. Okay, so now if I'm opening both, so you can see the difference. This is my template, which I had used for creating this new report. So this is my template, you can see. So the chart and everything is different basically. And now the source data is different. So my chart and pivot will look different. So I am opening this report. I didn't have to write any complex operations or, like code for creating pivot and chart. It is just, like I created the template and kept and I did the automation. So here you can see the data is basically refreshed. And if you go to the pivot, you can see the pivot data and the chart is also altogether different. So pivot and chart is basically built on the data which is, like provided here. Okay, so this is how you can automate, like the very advanced operations in Excel. So I am just, like giving you some tips on this. Now, if you see over here, like if you have built any interactive dashboard in Excel, and you can see my session with Analytics Vidya only on this, that how to build an interactive dashboard in Excel. So if you have a, like a requirement like this, that you have to generate a report like this again and again with different set of data and pivot. Okay, so that you get those kind of template you can actually generate and keep. The only thing you have to write in the VBA code is copying pasting the source with a different source of data and refreshing everything in the workbook. So then your dashboards like this or the reports like this will be generated. It gives the impression that you have created the whole new thing with the code, but it is not that. It is, you are just refreshing the data with your VBA code. Okay, so this is one thing. Second thing is that I will show you some office automation. So here I am showing you some unique things basically. So let's say that I have a Word template and I will show you this template. So basically I have a Word template which I have kept to send the welcome letter to all the employees who are joining newly in the company. Okay, so you can see here, it is a blank template and I have written, like all these things which can be, changed in the runtime. So you can actually, I can create a placeholder and keep here and which you can change in the runtime. But here, these things I will be changing in the runtime, name, designation, number of years, all these things. Okay, now for creating this, you can actually create a bookmark. Otherwise, you can create some, tagged value, like hashtag values which you can replace in the runtime. So here for creating bookmark, you can go here in the reference, insert captions, sorry, not insert captions, cross reference, and you can create the bookmarks like this. So if you select the bookmark, you can create like I have created for gender, designation, joining date, etc. Okay, so these will be coming like changing in the runtime. Along with this photograph placeholder I have kept. Like the person who will be joining, the photo will be also replaced with this in this placeholder. Now to do this, if I want to call this placeholder in VBA, I think many people don't know this, but the most, easiest way is you select this, like you create this box, you go and select here, the selection pane will come, and here you give a name to this. So if you see, I have given a name to this box as user DP. So you can give actually any name over here. You can give some name which you can refer in your VBA code. That is what you need to do over here. Okay, so this is what, if you want to fill any box or any, like placeholders, then you can do like this. Okay, so I will just close this template and I will show you like how for two different employees, the welcome letter is generated. So I will just delete these letters I already generated. So I will just go and delete this. And again, macro can be written in both the workbook. One is XLSM, one is XLSB. So if you're saving the file in the binary format also, you can write macro in it. Okay, so now if you see, I have taken two data basically. You can see that two set of data, and it can be like many. It can be as many data as the people are joining. Okay, so if you want to create some bulk welcome letter and send to everyone, you can just automate that code. Okay, just using a generate button, it will, all the letters will be created. So I have just given some basic things. I have given the location of the profile pic, joining date, which I will be changing in the runtime. So you can understand from this that it is just the data set which I am providing over here. Now what I have written in the generate data, so this button. So I will go here, I will just open this button. So you can see I have just taken this Word template, I am copying it here in the destination path, and then I am doing all sort of things because I am just, like taking this bookmark and replacing the values. That is all I am doing. I'm just reading from the Excel the values. I am taking this bookmark and replacing the values. And as I have shown you that placeholder, you can see that user DP. So that shape I am searching with the name, this name. So if it is this name, then it is filling with the picture part. So that is all I am doing over here. Now you see how the code runs. So it is running, you can see. You can see that it is something is getting created in the Word. Okay, so it is done. Okay, so for two records, it is done so fast. So I will just go here and with my so in my slow system. So that is also one thing. So I will just go here. I will refresh this. So you can see these two letters are generated. So I will just open this. So I am just giving you, like the industry things, the real case applications which you can do in this with this automation. So you can see the photo is replaced. I have taken some arbitrary image. So this is replaced. The name is replaced. Whatever I wanted to replace, it has got replaced. Okay. So you can see here that whatever I wanted to replace here, it is replaced. Even for the second one. It's taking a little bit time to open as my system is very slow. Let me just open it again. Okay, so I will just go into another till the time it opens. I will just go and show you another use case of this. So this is basically, I have shown you the office automation. So another kind of office automation I will show you, that is with the PPT. I will take 5 more minutes to show you this and I will complete this and take the Q&A. So you can see this is another welcome letter, which is like created in this automation. Okay, so this is one thing. The second thing is that suppose you have a template PPT and like you have to like repeatedly change it. Okay, so I will just go and open this code. I think this code is already open. Okay, so this is my code basically. Okay, and if you see here, I have created this, some risk data is there, like risk related data, like which is a department, then what is a risk title, what is the likelihood impact and the risk score. So this is kind of a risk data which is there. Okay, and I can have a, like a very big list on this. Now, if you see my template on this, so I am showing you my template. So let me just go and show this template. So this is my template. So if you see this template, okay, till the template opens, I will show you the code. The code is very simple, basically. So I will just go to the VBA code. Okay. The template is opening. So you can see it is a very simple template. I have just put a cover and then I have this heat map. And you can see the most severe risks which are in red zones will show it here in this risk tab. Okay. And if you see, like if I go to the selection tab, like the things which I need to, like access from my VBA code, I have put some special names over here, like risk title, then heat map, then all these things which I need to access over here. Okay. And if you go and see here, the second slide, this is also something, like very simple slide. I haven't put anything, but I will populate this slide and I will also create some more slides for each department using this template. So I will just go and see this code. Okay, I will close this one.
Hello, Munmun. Can
Yeah.
we go to a Q&A section?
Yeah, just 2 more minutes. I will just run this code and it is done. So I will just show this once, like this office automation. Just 1 second. So let me just go to this code. I will close this one. This is done. Okay. So this is my risk and risk data. Okay. So if you see over here, this is a module basically which I will be running. Okay, it will generate my report. Okay. So I have just given some, like this template address and all. And everything I am doing here is I am just, like using those names only, the shape names, and I am filling those shapes. So if I run this, you can see how it runs. I will just delete this data, today's file. Okay. So you can see I have used a template, but it will just generate the slides after slides onto that. Just 1 second. So now you can see this is generated. See the risks are also getting plotted. Okay, and all the risks are getting, it is just automated. The task is automated. So I don't have to create, for the number of risks, I don't have to care. I have just written a program over here. It is just doing its work on the PPT. So these kind of reports will be very beneficial over here. So these are the, real-time industry use case I have shown over here. And I hope that gives some insight on this. So I will just take the Q&A. What kind of SAP automation can be done? Yes, any kind of SAP automation can be done. If your SAP is in the cloud, then you can do the web automation. If you have the GUI, like the desktop client, you can actually generate the GUI script, which is actually essentially a VBA script, VB script basically. And that you can take in the VBA and you can, manipulate and work. Can you please go through these codes and functionality? I don't have much time on this. You can see the recording. What is the difference between SOAP and REST? So SOAP is basically, giving you the response in the XML. If I tell you in the layman term, so it is a kind of a web API where if you send the request, you will get the XML in the XML response. REST is mostly giving you in JSON, not only JSON, but in the other formats also, but mostly the JSON is the, popular response which is coming from the REST. That is in the layman term I am telling. Okay, can you explain VBA code like the level of beginner to it? So the beginner level code I have shown you guys, you can just see this recording. Could you please share this spreadsheet? All these spreadsheets are there in the GitHub link. I can share the code link. Can you please share these Excel files containing VBA codes? Yes, the GitHub link is there. Okay. Okay, the book link actually that is there in the slide. If you want, I can share with you. Just ping me in the link till I will share with you the link. If the VBA is still relevant for data science as SQL, Tableau, Python, VBA is very much relevant in today's day. Like lots of things are done, and don't think that it is a very traditional way of doing things. VBA is a very relevant thing in terms of the data preparation, data transformation. You can connect to SQL also. You can connect Excel as a SQL also. So like Excel as a database. And Tableau and all, see that it is kind of different tools for visualization which you use. So if you are using the visualization in Excel, then VBA is the best thing to do it. Yes, Python is another language, so you can use Python, for different purpose. Python can, you can use to build a web application also. It is not only used for data science. It is commonly used in data science, but it is not the only thing, only application of it. And VBA is not really used. VBA is very much used in industry, and specifically in RPA. VBA can be called from most of the RPA tools like Automation Anywhere. So VBA is a very, interesting thing, and it is a very powerful tool. So that's all from my side. I think it.
Yes, Munmun.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for conducting such a wonderful session. I am sure that our audience found it insightful, and hopefully we will be conducting more such sessions with you. So yeah, it was actually a good session, honestly. Now, like for attendees, we have set up a feedback poll. I request you all to fill that feedback poll if you haven't filled it up yet. All the recordings of the session will be available at our YouTube channel. If any of you are facing any problems or are wishing to conduct such a sessions with you, you can connect us at Analytics Vidya. You can connect us at editor@analyticsvidya.com. Upcoming sessions of the DataHour series are given in the chat box, so you can check there. The YouTube channel link is also given in the chat box. The LinkedIn profile of the speaker is also given in the chat box. And thank you for attending the session, and hope you all guys will be attending the upcoming sessions.
Thanks, everyone.